Instinct Survivalist here. I'm going to take a look at two things today. Number one, the hot ash stove. I know I've already done some videos on it, already done some pictures on it and things of that nature. Finally got one and going to look at the assembly of how easy it is, but then we're also going to make a little boiling water. The other side of it is we're going to look at one other thing, and that's the Instafire fire starter, because, well, I needed some tinder to get the fire going in here. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll show you how it's done. Okay, so what you'll notice is when you pull it out of the box, they put the screws in with the brown paper bag. Now what the brown paper bag is to hold it so that when it's cooling off, you don't have to worry about burning yourself, is what it boils down to. What I did is I actually did a little more modification on mine, simply because I know that I'm going to carry it in a bag, and I know I'm going to end up losing these screws. So I actually took and screwed in the bottom, which I believe that's what you're supposed to do anyway, and then I went ahead and screwed the one in on the other end too. You can tighten it down or what have you. But what happens is when you're ready for this is you go ahead and loosen it up. And I apologize in advance for the dog. The neighbor's dog drives me nuts all the time. Alright, so you got one wing nut. For those of you that have never seen one of these, this is a wing nut. Okay? I know a lot of folks nowadays, especially the younger crowd, they're not sure when I say wing nut what I'm referring to. This is it. How do you know? Because it's got wings on it. Alright, this is your chimney. Okay, so from that chimney we're going to take and pull that and put it aside. We're going to take the other pieces out. That's your chute, your back legs, and then basically your grate. Okay, so let's look at those individually. When we put it all together. First thing we'll do is we'll actually put this in here, and the machining's working right. Yes, it's nice and snug. And then you take your wing nut and put it down. Now the reason they use wing nuts is, well, because it becomes a lot easier, and you only have to worry about one part for sure. Now what I forgot to do is, because I'm a nut, maybe a wing nut, some of you may say, I forgot to put the legs on the back. So I'm going to do this. Put this on, and it fits and lines up quite nicely there. So I can just take and do like this. Now, some of you may say, well, mine just unfolds and I'm ready to go for the stove that I use. Well, that's okay. That's your choice. That's your prerogative. And hey, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Alright, so we took and have that one. Then we put the chute on. Now the chute, I always get confused, is, see the slot here, it lines up right there, look at that. You can just take and slide and put the nut in. And what this does do is it basically gives you a tripod, one leg, two leg, three leg tripod. To secure there. Now, some of you may notice, hey, guess what? Well, there's a piece here on the bottom. What's it for? Well, remember when we unfolded it, that's where I actually tightened in the wing nut so that I could keep it from rattling, if you will. Alright, so we'll go in and use that. And then our other two pieces. Go like this. So I just actually cross-layered those. Alright, so now all that's left is time to feed it, or feed the beast. So I'm going to turn it the other way so it's a little easier for me to use, and you'll see it from your side. So as soon as I get it fed, I'm going to light it up, and then you'll get to see all that too. So give me a moment to get some wood for it. Okay, so the Instafire, that little small bag is supposed to start at the 4 fires, and then burns up to about 1,000 degrees. I'll actually do a video review on that, but I wanted to just check it out because I needed a tinder anyway. Wanted to play with it, if you will. So we'll go ahead and light that up. So I can get my fingers down in there. You can already see I've already got it lit. maybe. It's lit down in there. Let's see how it goes. All right. Now the good thing about this is it's a nice fuel extender, so I don't have to worry about rushing to go get pieces of wood. That's what it boils down to. Now you can see it's slow burning and everything like that. I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing down some sticks into my chimney or into the chute, and get them to start lighting up. I will say that little bit's pretty daggum hot. What concerns me is whether it expands out or not. Get some more of this going here. My concern was taken care of just by moving it around a little bit. Now, the other question you may ask is, why am I using the hot ash stove? What's so special about a hot ash stove? And the main reason that you even go this route or go with a hot ash stove is because it is a rocket stove. It's a wood-burning rocket stove by definition, which means it's got airflow coming underneath it, a nice chimney, and it's able to consume the fuels that you need to and put it into one location. So it when it gets going, it's pretty fast and really hot. If you haven't seen the other video that I've done on it, again, not exactly a review video. I did write a review, instinctsurvivalist.com. Go check that out. I urge you to go check that out as well. But what we can do is, right now we'll just talk about some of the other facets of it. Some going there, and then we'll get some fuel going down into it. If you hear dogs in the background, yes, those are mine. I've got some little kid running up and down the street, or riding his bike up and down the street. Looks like it's starting to push some fire down in there. Now what happens with a rocket stove is the airflow goes underneath, and thusly making it to where, I burned my arm, thusly making it to where it comes up through the top. So in a moment when the wood catches and everything's going well, it'll actually catch up on the top. And I'm going to try to back off of this just a little bit so that you can see what I'm talking about. So if you start getting sick, it's because I'm moving the camera. You see the smoke coming out of the chimney now? It lets me know that it's starting to work. Now this is not a fast process. although it's faster than in some areas, especially in comparison to some others. Now you should be seeing the flames coming out of the top. There you go. That, my friends, is why it's a rocket stove and why I care. Got to get the fuel going, got to get the wood going, and then you just feed it. You know, for lack of a better term, you're feeding the beast, you know, for as hot or as little as you want. I know many of you say, well, wait a minute, what's the test? And that's the boiling water test, all right? So let's go ahead and look at this. This is nice and cold. Not that you can feel how cold it is, but it is cold. Straight out of the tap. And we'll set that up there. Alright, I'm going to drop you back down so that you can see the rest. What I'll do is I'll adjust the camera and then we'll bring you right back into it, okay? Alright. You should be able to see it. Time elapsed is about 1.5 minutes. For those of you keeping tabs on the water. What I want to point out, one other thing, let's see my stick here. Right here at the flame at the chimney, what you'll notice is although the flame down here in the bottom got low, the chute got low, or the feed, it didn't have any problems, right? It's still going, so I can just keep, you know, adding. In essence, it's extending it as well, so that's one of the other benefits of this type of stove. Now we'll give you one other upside downside you have to decide to this. Let the dogs see what they're going to do. Is if you're into ultralight, you're trying to get the lightest stove, the titanium stoves and things of that nature, this ain't it. Okay, just go ahead and be aware this is not that light. It's not a titanium stove. So if you're doing ultralight backpacking as an example, this is not what you want for your camping trip. For those of you that didn't see fire down in the chimney, that's okay. It was in there. It just wasn't up very high. So again, you feed the beast, right? Wood-fed rocket stove. Great for camping, especially if you're doing family camping. Can't start a fire where you are, especially with restrictions and things of that nature. Don't feed too much. And what I mean by that is if you're not going to be here long, you just need enough to heat a cup of water. You don't have to continually feed and feed and feed and overfill and all that. You know, if you're using just sticks off the ground or squaw wood or something like that, then don't worry about it. You're not going to have a problem because you're not going to be able to feed that much into it. Simply because the spacing or the limbs, the twigs, the pieces and parts of the twig itself is not going to allow for that. So, you know, if you look at, you know, the knots and where pieces were down here, things like that, you're not going to have to worry about it. And one of the things I do is I do push down into the chute just a little bit further. Now there are vents in the bottom of this, so you need to make sure that you don't, you know, clog them up, if you will. My water is hot, it's not boiling. So again, for those of you following along at home, this is also good if you're, you know, en route to somewhere and you're not ready to set up camp but you're hungry. It's a good thing to do here. You can also see the activity on the flames themselves, or how it's pulling into it, and that's why I wanted to do this angle. You can see how it's pulling into the chimney from that angle, and otherwise the flames will be coming this way out the chute. I'm going to use a little bit more. Almost there for the boil. I'm going to bring you along to see exactly what I'm seeing using a different camera. Two reasons. Number one, better, Dad. So the other is so that you can actually get a good look at, from my point of view, not just a stationary camera, what we're doing. Now, some people might say this is an instructional video on how to do the... No, that's not what I'm doing. I just want to show you how easy it is to actually utilize this stove. And again, it's a hot ash stove. HotAshStove.com. Great folks over there. I actually have met them in person, not just virtually. Great folks. And you can see we've got bubbles. So I'm double checking that. And you can also see down in the chimney how it's just going along with it, right? So it won't take much longer for that water to boil, and then we can call it a day. So all in all, is this a great stove? I think so. I really enjoy it. I like it a lot. This was my maiden voyage for a new one. They're actually working on a 2.0, if you will. And what I was using before then, you might ask, well, how do you know so much about it? Well, it's because I actually was working with the prototypes. I told you I met them in person. Their office is not too far from mine. Alright, so I might add another piece or two of wood, just to satisfy you rolling boil folks. If I was carrying water with me, this has been way done by now. So now my food, I'm gonna have to let it cool down. You see, it didn't take much for that flame to come back up. Ready for this? How about rolling boil? I'd say that's done. Alright, so that's it. Appreciate you watching, appreciate you being with me. Hey guys, I appreciate your support all over. Whether it's the likes, the retweets, the favorites, the sharing of content. But I do, hey, comment on the video. Let me know how you like it. If it's something you don't like, Bill, you're an idiot. I'll take those. That didn't mean I'm going to make it published. But I'll take that. I don't have a problem taking stuff like that. So again, rolling boil. All right, guys. Hey, y'all take it easy. Thanks for all you do. And until then, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching.